It's your returning champion, Elgintensity, aka Bohemian Trapsody. This month we made some startling discoveries. Rich people throw money around to get their way, poor people who treat themselves like objects will do anything for money, and a black actor who stages a hate crime in the Democratic Republic of Chicago will get away with it. The most startling discovery came after Samson Fletcher's performance at the California State Games, where he placed first out of 1. He might not be training for MMA anymore, but he fights by himself and wins every time, so he's still shadowboxing. Samson looks more pleased with himself after that meet than he does after finding out that he's having another kid. So the biggest shocker of the month is that some things are actually worth less than a participation medal. On to the first question, which comes from Jonathan Cardinali, who asks, home gym without dumbbells, cables or bands. There is a rack, bar, plates, and bench. Is there a good replacement for face pulls with this stuff, or is there maybe a specific band strength to do them well? You'd better do your face pulls. If you don't, then I'm sending this DM to Jeff and you're in big trouble. Fortunately, I'd rather help you than snitch. You can do face pulls and pull-aparts with an Elite FTS red mini band. If you have light dumbbells, then do the Cuban press, no relation to the sandwich. Both will improve your shoulder health and correct imbalances. Michael Joseph asks, I have recently lost weight and gained muscle, and I need to start buying new clothes for a new wardrobe. What types of clothes do you think I should start buying first, excluding underwear, t-shirts, gym clothes, etc.? You have a male first name and last name, so I'll make the big assumption and say men's clothes. I recommend new dress shirts first, because oversized shirts make you look fatter due to all the fabric around your waist. You'll need to replace your pants too, but shirts are usually cheaper so you can acquire more of them right away. Get 100% cotton poplin shirts in white, light blue, white with light blue stripes, white with small checks, and a white Oxford cloth button-down for casual days. Like I've said before, when you're building a wardrobe you need to go boring so you can mix and match everything and nobody will notice. Stay away from performance or stretch material, even though you probably relied on them in your big Chungus days, because a shirt that fits right doesn't need that much stretch. It's really just a way to cover up a poor fit. I've recommended Kamakura before and recently became one of their affiliates, but I also own and recommend several shirts from Sid Mashburn. Trapped in America, would you ever recommend using clips that attach at the legs or socks to keep your dress shirt tucked in? Also, have you played Sekiro yet? That shit slaps harder than a stepfather. He's referring to shirt stays, which I don't recommend because they're uncomfortable and unnecessary. They counteract blousing by pulling down on the shirt fabric around your midsection. A better solution is to just get tailored shirts that won't blouse in the first place because they don't have much excess fabric there. The second solution is to get pants with rubber strips sewn into the waistband, which you can see in this pair of pants that I had made for me last year. The rubber strips prevent blousing by gripping the sides of your shirt better. You can buy these strips on their own, I've seen them go by the name Snugtex, and have someone sew them in for you. The final and cheapest solution is to simply tuck your shirt in properly. If you Google military tuck, then you'll find videos and pictures that explain how to do it. It'll look like this. Basically, you're collecting the excess shirt fabric at the sides and folding it back. As for Sekiro, I haven't gotten too far into the game yet, but so far I like it more than Nioh and about as much as Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3. I do think that stealth kills are too easy to pull off, unless of course you're DSP, but the sword fights more than make up for that. What's Quackin' asks, are one-a-day vitamins a waste of money, or do they some uses? You should consider getting a one-a-day vitamin if you have a nutritional deficiency that you can negate more easily with a vitamin than you can by changing your diet. If you recently got gastric bypass surgery and can't put down much food due to the reduced size of your stomach, then a vitamin might help. For most people, it's better to just buy specific micronutrients because the dosages in a one-a-day are probably not going to be high enough to matter. Chances are you'll do fine without a vitamin if you just have a nutritious diet. If you want to learn more about supplements and how to combine them, then check out the resources from Examine, with whom I've been affiliated since 2014. Sid Blues 101 asks, Carcaricles Trapelodon. I don't know much about watches, but would like to buy myself something really special that isn't cheap, but doesn't need a mortgage either. Any advice for a first-time buyer? It says in your profile that you're a scientist, but I don't know what kind, so I'd get a watch that resists magnetic fields. The Omega Railmaster and Omega Aquaterra are available pre-owned for just under $4,000. If that's still too rich for your blood, then get the SIN 857 UTC, which is around $2,000 pre-owned and tracks a second time zone. If you're the kind of scientist who cooks the best meth in New Mexico, then get the Rolex Milgauss with the green crystal, which is just north of $7,000. Haterade Free and others ask, Trapped Planet, would you do a review of Captain Marvel? You know the deal, I'm going to put spoiler alert on the screen. Mute the video when it appears, but keep the video running, your boy needs the watch time. When the spoiler warning disappears, then it's safe to unmute. Okay. Even if you ignore the girl power rhetoric in and around the movie, it's still a heap of shit movie. While Captain Marvel, aka Carol Danvers, spars with her mentor, Yon-Rogg, at the beginning, he tells her to keep her emotions in check. Except she's not the Hulk. She can and does use her powers at will, and she's emotionless for most of the movie. She gets captured by Skrulls, one of many signs of their incompetence, then escapes the ship easily and lands in LA, where I can tell you from experience, aliens are all over the place. She chases a Skrull onto a train, notices an old lady, and goes Rick James on her ass after seeing through her disguise. I can tell why the Skrulls got wrecked by the Kree to the point of losing their homeworld if they can't even use their signature shape-shifting powers reliably. Captain Marvel and Nick Fury find a file that reveals that she was presumed dead after testing an experimental engine designed by Dr. Lawson, whom she sees in her dreams. Next, she visits Maria Rambeau, her old military buddy, who thought they've been dead all this time, and they get along like nothing happened. Talos, a Skrull commander, shows up at Maria's house in his true alien form, but she and her daughter don't immediately shit their pants. Women shriek when they see a spider, but not a Skrull. Sure. We then learn that Dr. Lawson tried to destroy her experimental engine, which was powered by the Tesseract, so the Kree couldn't have it, but Yon-Rogg killed her first. Danvers destroys it herself, but she absorbs the Tesseract's energy when it explodes. Captain Marvel and company reach Lawson's lab, but get captured by the Kree's Star Force. Captain Marvel then removes the device that has been keeping her under Kree control before kicking everyone's ass. You'd think they'd control one of the most powerful beings in the universe with something a little harder to remove than a fucking USB drive. But no, she takes it off in a few seconds. I wanted to do the same with my head while I was watching this movie, especially when Just a Girl by No Doubt played during the fight with the Star Force. The high point of the movie was when Goose, Lawson's cat, which is actually an alien, used a tentacle attack on some of the Kree. You know your movie sucks when the CGI'd cat is the best part. If I wanted tentacles for the climax, I'd watch hentai. Captain Marvel bodies everyone, of course, and forces Ronan the Accuser to escape. We learn that the name Avengers came from Danvers' call sign, and that Fury lost an eye because of the alien hentai cat. I'll take shit nobody cared about for 200, Alex. We also discover that the pager Fury used at the end of Infinity War was for contacting Captain Marvel during emergencies. I guess Loki and Ultron were just chopped liver because he didn't feel the need to use the pager. This movie fell flatter than Larson's ass, 5 out of 10. Okay, boyos, it's time for the lawyering round. Let me adjust my glasses of lawyering. Kaz Hadjic, my motherfucker, starting it off like Inspector Deck, asks, Dear Traplord, I present to you a potential lawyering question. This time you are presented with 2 career choices. You have to leave lawyering behind and choose on of the following 2 options. 1. Attack Jeff from Athlete Next for a living. You would have to make at least 2 weekly videos where you ignore most of his work while cherry-picking and misrepresenting his words to suit your needs. The videos would have to be posted public on your Infinite Elgintensity channel. Or 2, work for Brittany Dawn as her taking full responsibility coach. Your obligations are encouraging her to keep referring to her scam as a mistake, showing her the best ways to spend the money she stole, and how to make those luxuries as public as possible. I'll make videos about Athlete X in which I cherry-pick and misrepresent his words by parodying the irrelevant YouTubers who do so in earnest. Because I don't want to give these bottom feeders too much attention, I'll post this on my Infinite Elgintensity channel on Dailymotion. Mason M. Scruggsworthy III asks, possible lawyering round question. If you had to choose between Cali Muscle and Brad Dingleberry as your training partner, and you could only work out with whoever you choose, and cannot work out before or after your daily session with him, who would you choose? I'll choose Cali Muscle. Every session he'll work out his breath control while playing the didgeridoo with his nose. Better yet, he can play a didgeridoo in each nostril to prevent imbalances, while I hold the sheet music. The amusement I get from that will compensate me for having to be around that pudding head. Fawad Asiel asks, would you rather give your spine to Ronnie Coleman or your heart to C.T. Fletcher? Imagine submitting a question for the lawyering round and thinking I have a heart to give. I'm going to print out all of my broken back jokes, bind them together, and give my pages and my attached spine to Ronnie Coleman. Monotonous asks, Trap Lord, I present the potential lawyering question. Guys, you don't have to start each one like that. Would you rather A. Spend a night with Tess Holliday to include the assumed romantic activities on the condition that she disavows the fat acceptance movement and instead becomes an advocate for weight loss? B. Be doomed to bad form on all lifts for the rest of your life. No amount of training or instruction will fix you on the condition that Brad Castleberry stops using fake weights and inspiring ego lifters. Or C. Choose neither A nor B and instead surrender to all of CrossFit HQ's copyright claims past, present, and future. I'll spend the night with Tess Holliday at a fat camp while I'm guarding the food. I'll have to be armed for this task, so the romantic activities will be me letting sparks fly like love at first sight when she tries to raid the fridge. Like the video and subscribe to the channel now.
Everybody drugs their body sometime. Everybody tries the gear somehow.